Hey guys, Joe from XFoxGames, and we are back, of course, with the BK-1. Now, if you guys want to watch the full review on this, you guys can check it out here, where we went kind of over everything stock and what it's all about. And some of you guys know or remember, I mean, we had a love-hate relationship with this. You know, the AEG/AEB market is kind of new, and some of the stuff that's currently on the market, I get it, it's kind of pricey. You know, we have the Challenger, we have the Edge, and both these are a few $100s. And when I seen this, I was like, oh, the price entry for this is roughly about $100-ish. So I was like, okay, let's get this thing and let's see how it goes. But again, we had a lot of jamming issues. It had the small super door right there for getting the jams out, which was impossible to get jams out. Sometimes you gotta take out the full shroud. We also did have the fuse issue on here, just like everybody else. But you know, with those things, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put it on the shelf, and I'm just gonna hold off until somebody comes out with something for this, or there's some type of fix. And I think it was Valor who gave me some suggestions on things to look at and try, but I kind of kept it on the shelf because I was like, okay, you know, I need something to fix this to make it more reliable. And the first thing that I noticed after about a couple weeks is this brass barrel. Now, the brass barrel, I'll throw it up here, is roughly about 2 times the size as the original barrel. It does have a bigger chamfer on the inside, which is kind of nice. And it just, you know, basically puts right in place. There's no gluing, no cutting, nothing. So I got that thinking, okay, this hopefully might fix the issue with the jamming on this particular blaster. So I'm gonna kind of pull this up here, the installation. It should take roughly about 2 to 3 minutes. So let's kind of go through that here really quick so you guys can kind of see that.
To take this part, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's only a few pieces. And I did test fit the previous, or the newer kind of barrel here. And yeah, I mean, it went in pretty well. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Pretty much you want to take off this front part here. You just spin it, and it should pop off, or you should line up these 2 little pieces right here, these little nubs, and they should pop right off. Now, I already took off the bolt on the back side of this front bolt, but you should be able to pop it out like so. Perfect. We'll put that over the side, and I got my little nut that pops on the back side here. Basically, you can pull it out, and off comes the shroud. Now, mine was really tight. This little collet right here, mine was pretty tight, so just give it a twist outward, right? So outward comes right off. And then the outer shroud sometimes come off. You can actually pull it off previous, but you should have these 2 pieces left. And then you got your actual barrel, which just pops right out. Mine was a little snug in there the first time, but you could see there's no O-rings. The inside, I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's no chamfer on there. Maybe like a little bit, but nothing like this. This is chamfered pretty well. And this is, again, it's pretty heavy. And I mean, you could look at the, you know, again, the distance and the length of these things, about 2 to 1. But this thing definitely adds a little bit of weight. So put it back in. We simply just push this in, and then that kind of C-clamp hits right back, pretty much the same as a C-clamp right here, if you guys can kind of see that. We will put the collet back on. Just kind of give it a quick tug, and it is definitely in place. We put this back on. Sometimes get a little bit shake. We'll put this back through. This took a little bit of a second to line up with the holes on this side. Let's see if we can get it here. There we go. I'll slide that in the spot. We will tighten this down. And this is just snug. It doesn't got to be super tight. There we go. So almost done. And you can slide this kind of barrel sheath, whatever you want to call it, back over the top. Put your collet back in. Push it down, and then twist it. It's kind of hard. Twist it till it's in. And you're going to notice, if you guys can kind of see that, the new barrel kind of sticks out the end, probably like 10 millimeters or so. But yeah, installation is a breeze. It definitely adds some more weight to the front, but yeah, let's go out and shoot this thing and see how it goes.
So there you go. You could see a super quick installation on this. You could pretty much swap back if you wanted to, or, you know, for whatever the reason. It does, of course, stick out on the end right there. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. About 10 millimeters or so. Not too annoying. If I was ever going to bring this to one of my local games, for sure, I would have to, you know, swap this front for something orange or color it or something like that. But let's take this thing out to the range and see how it performs. Now, this is going to be a quick range test. I was able actually to get about 10 mags through this before I started to record. And, you know, stock, this thing shot about 120. With the new barrel in there, it shot about 125, but it settled to about 120, so I didn't see an increase. However, what I did see an increase in is the jams, or actually lack of jams. Now, a jam, it can be a couple different things, right? A jam could be it gets stuck, you cannot shoot, or a jam could be it didn't shoot, but the next dart shoots it out. And that's what I tended to see, is I see that it didn't eat the darts that bad, but it did clog in the barrel quite a bit. Now, you can see here, you know, it shot okay. Full auto, no, it just didn't want to work good. I tried all different kinds of darts through here, and eventually you're going to see is where, yes, I broke the trigger on this particular blaster. I wasn't even pulling that hard on this thing either. So I was able to get a little bit more of shooting video here, but you can see, again, you know, when this thing is set to full auto with the new barrel, not that great. Now, I tried, again, all different dart types. I tried Worker Gen 3s. I tried Bamboos. Bamboos were decent, but they're definitely a smaller diameter and lighter. They were decent, but not that great. But again, Worker Gen 3s, the Dart Zone stuff, I mean, the Maxes, I mean, you name it, the Adventure Force Pros. I tried all of those through here, and with the new brass barrel, man, I would not get the jams, but I would get the plug jams. So I was able to shoot, and then it would get stuck, and then I'd shoot another one, and they'd finally shoot, and maybe shoot one or two. So full auto for me, when I upgraded to the new barrel, is just not an option. I still think there is a lot to work out on this particular blaster when it comes to, you know, the upgrades and things like that. There is a lot to work out. I did swap back earlier before I broke the barrel. I swapped back to the original, and I was like, okay, you know what? I can live with the jams. And it shot about 120 to 125 with the stock barrel, and the accuracy actually wasn't that bad. It actually shot pretty decent. So, I don't know. You know, the BK-1, I get that it's about $100, but still, I would save for something like the Challenger. The Challenger I haven't had any issues with yet, but who knows? You know, maybe in the future. The Edge, I still had a lot of the jamming issues. I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, try this, try this. Yeah, the Worker Gen 3s worked pretty well. It did eat them, but the Bamboos are what I had the best, you know, 99%, you know, shoot rate out of. But the other stuff, it just ate it. I still think the technology for the AEG style blasters, it still has a way to go, but some of them shoot well when they shoot well. But I will hopefully bring my Challenger to the next war if I can get a black muzzle 3D printed and created before then. So would I buy the brass barrel upgrade for the BK-1? No, I think that it's a good upgrade, but I still think there is just too many issues with this particular blaster to spend that extra money on that, you know, because it's basically 25% of the price of this particular blaster. So save that and get something, you know, like a Challenger if you can, or wait to see what happens on the next, you know, stuff that comes out. I can't always buy upgrades that work every single time. I'm like, yes, they work great. Sometimes they just don't work out. But if you guys have upgraded your barrel to this brass barrel on your BK-1, you had great results, let me know. I'm always curious to see, because I swapped back to the stock and I was like, oh, I'm going to go with stock all day long, because this brass one just doesn't do the trick on the BK-1. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks again, Fox fans.